Michigan State's up next. I find this intriguing.
Can I get a "I told you so" drop? Can I, obviously the Stephen Colbert pointing at the thing. Can I? I mean, it was me. It was I who, when asked in the summer, what game are you looking at that might be a little bit off the beaten path, a game that people are not focusing on? Because everybody's focused on Alabama, everybody's focused on Carolina. What's another game that might give you a little bit of pause, Cam? And immediately, without compunction, I said Michigan State. I grew up in Detroit, grew up as a Michigan fan, but if Michigan's not playing or is opposite, got Michigan State, and they're going to be on the other local channel and everything. Seen them a lot of times, and over the course of 30-something years, I've seen them come up in these spots against a team that has comparable or better talent, a team that's on a path towards a better season than what they're going to have potentially, and really be tough. Whether that's Michigan, O State, Wisconsin, Penn State, Illinois, well, when they were decent with like Juice Williams and them, Purdue when Drew Brees was there, Iowa. You can look across and see even a couple non-conference games. O State was undefeated one year, going to try for a national championship. Michigan didn't ruin that season. Michigan State did. I forget what year it was, but it was in the 90s.
15. Oh, you're talking 98.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, well, you got 15
and 15.
Multiple. So I'm focused on when I was a kid. Mark gave you another time recently.
And 13, actually.
Hello.
3 undefeated Ohio State teams.
I'm saying, bro, like, this is a team that in big moments over the course of 30 to 35 years that I've been a sentient, of sport fan, of my 40 years on this earth. They show up in these moments. And no, Sparty is not the flashy program. They're not the name brand. They're not the flagship University of Michigan, Wolverines, Hail to the Victors and everything. The Spartans fight song is actually a better musical composition. Just want to throw that out there. But this is a team that, like, everybody plays the Victors when you're in school. Everybody, because it's like 4 notes, right? And I have a friend, Brad, shout out to Brad Buddha, who was in middle school band. He did not continue into high school at Cranbrook, but he was in middle school band, and he was like, hey, we keep playing the Victors and everything. Down to the Victors, hail to the conquering heroes. It's like an 8-note song. It's very easy for everybody to play and chant and sing. This is how you propagate the propaganda, because everybody can do it, right? He's like, so why can't we play the Michigan State fight song? It's too hard for you. What? Even as a dumbed down version, no, it's too. It's a different kind of a thing, right? And so he would always say, he's like, well, I mean, hey, you can play the Victors in 5th grade, but you can't until you get advanced. You can't even play the Michigan State fight song. But they're going to play the Michigan State fight song at least coming in, because they're going to be up for this game. And again, seeing this kind of a team play very well against a team that most people would think would be the clear better or most advantaged team, the team that should win this game. I told y'all that this summer. Y'all said I was crazy. I'm crazy now. After a 25-24 or 23 win last week, very 2017-like and everything, where De'Aaron King played Chase Bryce to a standstill duel throwing the ball. Now I know there was the 92 yards rushing on top of that. But passing the ball, it was interchangeable between De'Aaron King and Chase friggin' Bryce. And you're telling me that you're very, very, very confident right now for a Michigan State team that's 2-0 and run for almost 500 yards in 2 games?
Like I said off the top, I'm intrigued. And for the record, just because I like to recite history and my memories of all 3 instances are very clear. 98, Ohio State consensus #1, undefeated, just a couple of weeks before the game against Michigan. Nick Saban, 25-point underdog, beat him in Columbus. 2013 Big Ten championship game. Ohio State's undefeated, #2 in the country, going to play in the BCS championship game against Florida State. Michigan State outscores them 17-0 down the stretch, beats them 34-24. 2 years later, Ohio State, defending national champions, undefeated, 10-0 at the shoe. Just a loaded team. Michael Thomas, Zeke Elliott, et cetera, et cetera. Just Michigan State just squeezes the air out of the ball, makes it like a game, like a basketball game, like you think it's over, but all of a sudden you just figure out this game's almost over.
Mm-hmm.
And they kick a game-winning field goal as time expired.
And the kicker with the
with the big
the celebration. But again, those are 3 times nobody in their right mind realistically thought that Michigan State was going to be within 2 touchdowns of O State in any of those 3 times. But all 3 of those times with an undefeated team in November or later, Michigan State won. And those are but 3 of the examples that there are to be had. Okay? Again, and even in some games where Michigan State ended up losing, in these spots, they still play up. And we've been talking about Miami playing down to the level of their competition, not showing up on this stage, not really, affecting anything against Clemson recently, not affecting anything against Alabama until they were down 27-0, and Alabama was on cruise control to the point where Nick Saban had to go and cuss them out at the next week's press conference after a win. Again, I want Miami to win. I'm going to pick Miami to win. Spoiler alert. I do not foresee that it's going to be as easy as I think it would have been had these teams played last year, or that some teams who don't really follow Michigan State or are not really, Michigan State's not really in their sphere of reference. I think it's going to be much closer than like a casual fan who's going to just look at it and say, Miami, Michigan State. No, that should be Miami, but I would love it to be that kind of easy. Mr. HD, 41-8 Miami. That was how bad we beat Notre Dame. Oh, because the Notre Dame person got it. Circle of knowledge completed. But even if you're talking about this week's game, I would love it to be 41-8. I will not be predicting that.
I have yet to make a selection on this game. I believe Miami's the better team. Michigan State came out, played really well against a Northwestern team that has been really good the last few years. Probably not this year, but Michigan State really laid it on them. It wasn't, they didn't blow them out, but they had control of that game and just, to Cam's point, just beat them up, ran the football down their throats. Kenneth Walker, Wake Forest back, who had 1,100 yards and 17 touchdowns over 2 seasons. Really good back, is their main guy. And then a Youngstown State game that you really can't take into consideration, although they did something that a lot of teams don't do across the country that are supposed to lay the hammer down on the FCS team. They had 35 points at half. It was over. They blew them out.
Yes, it's going to be an interesting game. I got a question and answer with Ryan O'Blennis of The Only Colors, the SB Nation Michigan State blog. I got to send him my answers, and I sent him my questions. I have a tab right here, so I have a new message from him. So I believe that his answers are in my inbox. So that will be going up on the site probably tomorrow, I'll say. But this is definitely not a real just, 50-3 kind of beatdown thing. But I will say that I need Miami to win, if for no other reason that every single Spartan fan and alum in my life will leave me alone, because trust and believe, if we lose this game, I will hear from people from back home in Michigan that I might not have spoken to anytime recently, who still have my number and my phone, will hear it from all of them. I'm thinking of a lot of people from high school and just from my friends and family, because there are a couple who went wayward and are Michigan State fans. There's going to be, I'm going to hear a lot of it if we lose, and I would like to hear none of it. So please, Miami, thanks.
Miami, a 6.5 point favorite